Okay, I'm joined again by Bishop Barry Strong. Thank you so much for joining the show again. We really appreciate you. And you made a controversial statement on social media the other day, and I seen it ruffle some feathers. And the statement was, I'm paraphrasing, YNs don't have love for anybody. Now, I see you got some backlash immediately, um, and I guess the sentiment would be that kids can't show love that they didn't receive. That's what I seen from that, and some of the backlash that you was getting. But you didn't say anything, and I knew you wouldn't, and so I immediately tried to call you. But I accidentally called your big brother. And so we're here now, and I want you to explain, what do you mean when you say the YNs don't have love for anybody?
Thank you for having me, Major Strong and nephew. Let me say this now. What I mean when I said the young ends, the YNs don't have love for anybody. To understand me, first of all, you have to define what do I mean when I say the word YN. And what happens is, with so many cultural changes, we've had to define our culture in so many ways based on, what we see. Like the ice, for instance.
Ice.
Maybe 20 years ago, somebody would say, "What is ice?" But because of things that has happened within the last few years, they've had to come up with things, and they had to relate names to it because we're dealing with things that we never seen before. Okay, and then the KG LGBT, we had to come up with a name because our culture was growing so fast. And so we had to define different things with different names. Now, if you're not up to date with the culture that we're living in, and then once names are put on these specific movements, then somebody gonna get lost in the sauce.
Right.
But what happened is, when we began to see cities like Houston, Texas, get shut down, all the way down, don't want none of our spring break black kids in their cities because the things that we lived by years ago, times past, that grandma and granddad had put in us, we go to Houston, get us a hotel room, maybe go out that night, go to the beach, have some fun, come back to the room.
Yeah.
But when a culture is broken where a group of people are lawless, just totally lawless, totally different today than it was 10 years ago. Well, our culture only done the same thing as they did when the LGBT came out. They had to get a name for this group. When other things came out, they had to get a name for this group. So when lawless children of ours, black children, totally lawless, go shut whole cities down, well, they didn't want to mix that with black children that's at Black College University. To be the next Jesse Jackson,
Outstanding black citizen.
the next Malcolm X, the next Martin Luther King. They didn't want to mix that. So they came up with a name. They came up with the YNs. And see, so when you speak of the YNs, you're not talking about the next leadership,
No.
the next Barack Obama.
No.
So they had to come up with a name for it. And so the YNs that I was referring to, so you wouldn't get it mixed up with our decent black young man. And let me be clear. You got a whole lot of decent black men out there, more than sometimes the social media and mainstream media want to give us credit for. We got some outstanding, smart, intelligent black youth that have invented and are still inventing and are holding the families together and being awesome examples. But when you talk about the YNs, you don't want to bring all that together. Those that did not uh, try to be decent, those that don't mind killing on the dime. Because we gotta admit, if black on black crime, if we killing more black people than any other race of people are, it's got to be something like that different than the decent young man. It's got to be something, and they earned the name. They call them the YNs.
Is the term YN, but not the term, are the people who uphold that word and make that word be a true thing, is that the subculture of black culture? Is that you see what I'm saying?
It is.
Okay.
It's a subculture of black culture.
Subculture of black culture.
But black culture is a great thing.
Right.
When people have, just because they're black, and they go do certain things, and they want to make this part of the culture, it's not part of the culture. The culture is understanding. The culture is major. Even though washing powder, you can't say a washing powder, you can't tell a car without using some type of black culture. If nothing but a commercial is going to be maybe a mixed race of children in their house because they're trying to sell their washing powder. They're trying to sell their commercial. They're going to have a black lady and a white man married in the kitchen talking about what they're going to cook or something because black culture is so strong, it helps make the country go. So black culture is an awesome thing. And then so people will take negativity and run it with black culture. That's not black culture. That's the YNs.
So you spoke on the Texas situation, and from my understanding, it was supposed to be a family event that Texas hosts every year, and Florida kicked the kids out. The rich whites kicked the kids out.
Other states did too as well.
They kicked the kids out, and so the kids chose Texas, and the event that they chose was kid friendly, and they said that the YN young ladies was out there with the cheeks out, everything out, twerk dancing, and they say some kids were having sex right in the cars, right when people just walking by broad daylight. And they say the night scene was crazy as well at just regular gas stations. Now, this was supposed to be their spring break. And I brought all that up to ask you, what do you say to the kids that say, well, y'all had Freaknik, y'all went down to Freaknik, and so ain't nothing new, like, this ain't new. What do you have to say to those type of people who want to have that type of mindset? Well, we had Freaknik in the 90s and this, that, and the third. I think Freaknik was, that was a college thing too. But what do you think about that? You know what I'm saying? The people who want to use that as a cop-out.
Well, Major, here's the thing. I think kids have always had fun. It's nothing new that they're having fun. But the level that they've taken it to, the level caused the question to be asked, what shall I liken this generation to? It was far worse than Freaknik. I've been to the Freaknik, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what the Freaknik was all about. It was nothing like what the level that these children have taken it to now.
Yeah.
And that's why Florida don't want them there.
No.
Texas don't want them there.
No.
Other states don't want them there because they are not so much as racist why they don't want them there, because African Americans are all through those states. But when the young ends, the YNs get together, it brings out something that culturally we just never seen before. And they're so ready for violence. They're so ready to dishonor their parents.
Mm.
In this generation and time, these same YNs that I'm talking about, they're so ready to cut you off. It was a time that people could fight and do a fist fight today and make up tonight. But now, if you fight with a young YN,
No.
they just assume to shoot you and kill you just because of a misunderstanding.
And it seems like that they're fine with the time or the consequences. They understand the consequences. They're fine with that. Off camera, I was telling you about a story, that situation that I had with a YN, and he told me, "Look, OG, I'm a YN. We're not going to fight." And he let me know that his stuff, that his gun, was outside on him. And so I told him real quick. I bowed out of that one real quick and told the YN, "Man, my bad. I forgot that who I was talking to." Thinking, since I can physically, I'm thinking, well, I'm good, I'm all right. No, it didn't work like that. But I'm glad you brought that up. I just had to make that example right there, because they're so dangerous. And I stay out their way and I'm scared of them.
And my thing is this: I love the black youth, but I don't consider the black youth the YNs.
No.
I consider the YNs as a group that come from the black youth. Now, just because this person A is 19 years old and black, person B is 19-year-old and black, one of them can be a YN and one of them just a black young man.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get it twisted. Everybody's not a YN just because they're black and they're young. But if you're uncultured, untrained, wild, out here want to shoot somebody on the spot for something that could easily be resolved with a conversation, you want to rob people at gunpoint just because you don't want to get off do nothing and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You rather just let somebody else work and you go rob them, breaking in their houses while they're at work, stealing their cars that they worked hard for. These are what I refer to as the YNs. I refer to most of my black youth as black men and black women because that's what they are. Mm-hmm. We have some wonderful black men, young black men and women that I'm very, very proud to be associated with, that I'm proud to say that they are our future leaders. But those that are just wilding out and have no respect for law enforcement, I say it what I say it. Mm-hmm. No respect for law enforcement, no respect for their parents, because a lot of that's going on, and violent and committing all kind of crimes against society. These are not young men that are coming up in our society. A name had to be made to label them, and that name just happened to be YNs.
Yeah. Okay, I have to get to it. The kids can't give some love that they never received. Now, you're the perfect person to ask this question to, and it's perfect for this subject matter. The word says that at some point the children will be without natural affection. So can a child who received love and a good upbringing from their parents still become a YN?
Well, let me say this. Now, this is me personally. Everything that sounds good is not good, first of all. See,
it sounded good when I read it.
See, when we say that a person that didn't receive love can't give love, that sounds good. But I question that. And I personally think that every human is capable of giving love. I really believe that. I think that love was downloaded. Love is a natural thing that God put in all of us to start with. So I don't, I can't go with a person because they didn't give them love. Ain't no love in them. I think love is in every human being. And I may be naive for saying that, but I really believe love is in every human being. But I think we're taught to hate. You don't have to teach a black kid to play with a white kid or to hug a white kid. But when you see it after it's been taught, then the white skinheads won't go around the black Panthers. I think hate is taught. It's taught. But I think love is a give me. I think it's natural to love.
So okay. So what about the kid that did have the harder upbringing, no support system, situation like that? Can that kid ultimately become a upstanding black youth opposed to a YN?
Absolutely. He have a great chance. Here's the thing. Life is not what happened to you. Life is a response. Life is only a response. Because that kid didn't get all the love, a lot of time his response is to overlove. Because what he didn't get, he give more love than the average person give because that's what he wanted and that's what he never got. So life is to respond to, and whatever your response is what your response might be to say, well, I'm going to hate because no one ever loved me. Your response could be, I'm going to love more because I always wanted love and then get love. So it's the person, life, that's what life is, a series of responding. Not action so much. Most of the things that we work on is responding.
And that's good, Bishop. My goodness.
Do you
Now,
really like that?
I did like that.
It's the response.
I did. I truly liked it then.
Major, let me say this right here. And this may be personal, but I'm going to say it because it might help somebody.
Go ahead.
And my daddy was a very successful man,
Yes, he was.
but he never told me he loved me. I've never heard those words come out of my daddy's mouth. I love you. But I tell my kids every day. If I talk to them every day, I tell them I love them. So it didn't make me not say I love you because I never heard it. But it made me say it all the time because I never heard it. Major, let me tell you this. My dad have never grabbed me and hugged me. I never got a hug. A personal hug.
It sounds unbelievable.
Well, it's believable.
Yeah, it's believable.
And I'm sharing it because I want people to know we don't have to say that we can't give what we didn't get. I hug my children every time I see them. I tell them I love them every time I talk. Let me say, I never heard Mary, I love you. My dad. But let me say this. Life is a response. Let me say this. I know my dad loved me. So he didn't say it, but I knew it. He showed me he loved me. So I was loved. I wasn't told, but I know I was loved.
Yeah, that's a fact. Mom told me that love is an action word. And so just knowing the actions of your dad, I don't know your upbringing. I wasn't there. And I'm guessing he loved you. Through actions at least.
Let me say this. He didn't make it easy on me. He didn't make it easy on me at all. My dad would get ready to go to California. And he'd get his Winnebago ready and get all the luggage ready to go to California. And then when he get his luggage ready and get the Winnebago ready, My classmates, my friends, was riding to California. I was like, Daddy, can I go? Nope.
Mm.
Daddy, any more room for me that I can go? Nope. I cried. Tears, real tears. Because I heard it real bad. I didn't turn to why I know why in behind it.
No.
I became wise behind it. I became wise. I said, why would he take my friends, Reginald Jackson? I love Reginald. Fred Fuqua, I love him. Other people, my peers, they all in California. They come home and tell me, man, your daddy took us to Niagara Falls. We went here. I ain't never been out of Alabama. My own dad. I could have got mad. I was crying. But I said, I got to figure this out. I know Dad loved me. Why he treat me like this? It hurts so bad. Worst hurt I ever had. What I came up with, Major, let me tell you.
Yeah, please.
It said, okay, this is what I came up with. So your dad building a church. He need organ players. Reginald can play the organ. Then my little 15-year-old mind say, Fred, his video man that do all his filming and videoing. Then my mind told me he left his wife at home, which is your mama, to see about you. With the rent paid, the light bill paid. He using these guys as tools to build a legacy to leave to me. But if he take me, he can't build a legacy. And he won't have nothing to leave me. So he leaving me at home with my feelings hurt crying because he loved me. See, he taught me to look at every situation several different ways. Don't look at nothing one way. But keep on looking at it like a Rubik's Cube till you put it together. And when I put the Rubik's Cube together, I understood that he was taking them for tools. There was shovels. There was axes. There was tools. I was his heart. Mm-hmm. He wanted to get it all, to leave it all to me. But see, so life is your response. It's not what happened to you. How great you want to become, how great you want to be, is how great can a response I give to a particular situation. Not how mad can I get, how they done me wrong. How does this work out for me? Because most of the time it does.
Mm. That was good right there, and I had never heard of that story right there. I knew about the Winnebago, but I didn't know about the trip to California. That sound crazy to my ears. I didn't.
It was New York too.
New York too. Okay.
Yeah, it was several states.
Yeah.
I never got to go.
Yeah.
I never got to go out the state of Alabama.
But I understand his reasoning.
But look how much wisdom I got.
Yeah.
I'm not being arrogant. I got it from that man, the man that made me sit down, the man that wouldn't let me go. I learned so much from him. He didn't have to let me go to be a good daddy. Ain't nothing wrong to say to be a good daddy, I got to take you to California. I got to take you to New York. I was forced to think like that. Or either I was forced to think he didn't love me. And I wasn't able to think that he didn't love me because I know he did.
Yeah.
So I came up with good thoughts.
Yeah.
And I've practiced that with all of my life. Whatever I deal with, I come up with good reasons because the scripture said all things work together for my good. So I don't look at it how it come to me. I got to keep on figuring out, how is this my good? Because that's my side, the good side.
And that critical thinking that you saying that Granddad taught you to do in every situation, you can't beat that. Being able to, I heard it is more than one way to skin a cat. It's more than one, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you got to look at things in several different ways, the same thing. I thought that was real good right there. Man, I didn't know that, though, and that's crazy. Are some of those things right there the reason that you decided to join the army, the United States? Was you in the Air Force?
Well, I went to the Navy,
You went to the Navy. I apologize.
and he was strongly against it. My dad was. He told me not to go. He said it's organized warfare, and we shouldn't participate in things of that nature. And he was very adamant that I didn't go. But because I knew he loved me unconditionally, he's going to love me whatever I did. I went anyway. And that's one of the best moves I could have made because I learned a lot of discipline. And things that he wasn't able to teach me. Probably, I think, because he loved me too much. They was able to give me the rest of what he was giving me. They gave me the rest of it. And they made me the total package, the military plus my dad.
To bring it full circle with what we were speaking on earlier, as far as the YNs, do you feel like a YN could have the support system that you had? A young youth could have the support system that you had, and still end up wanting to or being attracted to that YN lifestyle, because the lifestyle, just looking at it, it might look appealing to a kid who might be 15, 16, 17, dad trying to build an empire over here. Unbeknownst to me, he's gonna, you see what I'm saying? It's gonna trickle down to me at some point. This is love, not neglect. But could that kid end up becoming a YN? Now, I know you didn't. You just broke that down and how you didn't. But could that happen to a young youth?
It could happen to anybody. See, let me give you an illustration. Like I said a minute ago, life is responds. So respond could go either way. This is what life is. Life is a buffer. Just look at life, our big buffer in the sky. And it comes down and it does its thing. It comes down and it buffs. It tear up a lot of stuff and it polish a lot of stuff. Yeah. We got to decide what we're going to be. We're going to get tore up or we're going to get polished. So life is just a response. That's all life is. Do I polish behind this treatment? Do I become the greatest of all times behind this treatment? Or do I become the worst of all times behind this treatment? That's all. Life is two questions. That treatment going to send you one way or the other, and you make the choice. Life is a cross. And the buffer come down from the universe to shine all, to buff all. And then we decide whether we shine or whether we fall under the pressure.
Now, at what point would that, at what point should somebody be able to see it that way? Or at what point should a child, I guess, be held responsible for their own actions?
Maybe when they find out that Bill Clinton had no father in the home. But then when they find out Barack Obama had no father in the home. Then when they find out the next greats had no father in the homes. When they find that out and start putting that together, then they'll start realizing, wait a minute, these are choices. And I tell you, the greater your ability to respond is, the greater you will become. They asked LeBron James this. They said, when Kobe won the championship, am I okay?
Yeah.
When Kobe won the championship, Jelly Bean Bryant was there to support him. When Magic Johnson won it, his folks was right there to support him.
Yeah.
They said, LeBron, you finally won the championship, but you ain't got nobody to support. Your dad ain't here. Matter of fact, you don't know who your dad is. They told him that on national TV after the game. Let me tell you how great he is. This is what made him King James, not the basketball game. He said, well, no, my dad's not here. He said, but these legs that y'all like seeing jump so high, if it wasn't for my dad, I couldn't have jumped like that tonight. If Dad hadn't gave me these legs, I couldn't have ran like that tonight. If Dad hadn't gave me this body, I couldn't have done none of this tonight. He could have said, I hate my dad. He ain't nowhere around. He never been there for me. He could have did, but he wouldn't have been King James.
No.
He'd have been a YN.
Yeah, cop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So however far you want to go is how far you got to learn how to deal with what come with you, how you deal with. See, everything that come to you to make you great. All your problems came to make you great. How you look at them determine whether you get great or not, though. See, life is just a response, is all life is. Life is not action. Life is a response.
But a young man would need help finding out how to think that way. You see what I'm saying, Bishop? When the young man, we ain't coming out the box thinking the nuanced thoughts like what you just, like how you just bust it down, how we should be thinking about every situation and little issues and problems and things and you know what I'm saying, praise God anyhow. And I know we was raised under that, but a lot of
I didn't put God in it.
Yeah, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But that's still a view, is what I'm saying. Like my negatives became my positives. The issues or whatever situations that came up in my life, like you said, they're here to shape me, and I have to be able to see it that way. But these kids ain't been taught to critically think like that. Like you said, Granddad had taught you to think about every situation.
Here's the thing. Good and evil. You can't say this person only heard bad. I mean, that'd be a good cop-out if we want to go that route. But life been set up for us to make a choice, good and evil. We've heard good influence. We've heard bad influence. We've seen good movies. We've seen good bad movies. We've heard good love songs. We heard bad rap songs. We can choose.
Mm-hmm.
We have to choose. That's why I said choose you this day. So people have choices to make. People can be raised in a home with a good man. Inside they want to be something totally different.
Yeah.
When they didn't see that.
Yeah.
It just ain't what they wanted. I went a while doing some bad things. And I was raised with a good man.
Mm-hmm.
It was a choice. You see. Yeah. But I came back around to the choice that I seen when I was a kid, which was a good choice. But I was influenced by choices that I've seen when I growed up some, which was bad choices. So we're gonna make choices. But it's up to us. We're gonna see it all. We're gonna see the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the choice gonna be up to us.
I wanna end with not asking you how you feel about this statement I'm gonna make, but how do you see it? I wanna know how you view it, because I mean, you know, your critical thinking level is high. So it's in the Bible, it say if you raise a child up when it, you know, in the right way, that when it get old or gets older, it won't depart. How do you see that?
I want you to go slow and think about your words. You said, if you raise a child, subject is child, mm-hmm. up the way the subject is what? The child.
The child.
When it get old, it will not depart.
Yes, sir.
So raise it up. Put the right thing in it. So what you putting in it won't depart.
What you putting in it, okay. When I'm depositing in the child,
it won't depart. The child might depart.
Okay.
But what you put in it won't depart.
Can that child still be you see what I'm saying? Make horrible decisions.
Yeah. But let me make that just a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
what did you put in it? Some good stuff. So that good stuff ain't gonna depart. So it's gonna bring that child back. What you put in it, gonna bring it back.
Okay.
See, put the right thing in it, and it ain't gonna leave that child. What my daddy put in me didn't leave me. Because it didn't leave me, I came back.
Yeah. I mean, I had to end it like that, and I wanted to ask that question simply because I've seen children. Me, perfect example.
Me too.
Me, perfect example. My parents I never seen smoking or drinking in my house. I've never seen a beer can in my mother and father's refrigerator ever. And I end up smoking cigarettes. I end up drinking a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And so now they didn't put that in me.
Right.
But
see, it ain't what they put in you, what came out of you.
What came out of me.
See, somebody did. You saw somebody with some beer in their refrigerator.
Mm.
You saw somebody smoking some cigarettes.
Mm.
So your parents is not your only influence. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So what happened is your influence was somewhere else, but it still was a choice that you made, though, based on some other things that you've seen. And it's okay. You didn't shoot up no school or nothing.
Yeah,
you didn't drop no nuclear bomb or nothing. You drank some beer. You smoked little cigarettes and maybe some loud. Some ooh.
Maybe a little loud.
A little ooh or something, you know. But at the end of the day, you turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
you ain't no YN.
Yeah. And you know I'm asking, I had to ask those questions for the audience because somebody is thinking what I was saying, what I was asking you, and somebody wanted to try to extract that information from you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, they wasn't taught this. I got a good child. I did as much as I could. This, that, and the third. Especially single mothers, Bishop. Let's just be real. Single mothers are raising the men that they don't want to be with. They the ones raising the killers. Did I say that out loud? I said it. So especially single mothers, they want to know, hey, but I tried to do everything right. Why is he acting like this? Why is he going that way? And I think you answered it wonderfully because you just told me it was my parents weren't the only influence that I had.
And then I'll say this about the mothers too. I like the mothers more than I can really just express. I like the black mothers. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they get enough credit.
No, they don't.
Because we'll say, okay, they raising the kids that's doing this crazy stuff. I mean, they the only thing left. A lot of the black men been gone. So given the circumstances, they're doing the best they can. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So my daddy was totally raised by a woman.
That's a fact.
No daddy nowhere around. My daddy was totally raised by a woman. Some of the greatest men, your Barack Obamas was totally raised by women. Your Bill Clinton's totally raised by women. So I take my hat off to women. We can't make them be no man. We can't make them put that hard streak in that boy like what we want them to do. But if it wasn't for the black woman, where would the black race be now? We say she twerking. Well, I mean, she twerking. She want to enjoy her life. He locked up. He locked up. He been gone. So what I'm saying, if it's 7 women for every man, how can a woman have a man in a traditional way? Just I'm at home, me and my man. That's gonna be hard to do in this day and time. So she needs some relief. She needs to have a life, to enjoy her life. So it's gonna be hard for her to do it like grandma done it, because we didn't do it like granddaddy did it.
But that's what the new traditional male, the younger traditional male does want her to be like grandma.
But he ain't like granddaddy.
Not at all.
He ain't nothing like granddaddy.
Yeah.
Granddaddy had calluses on his hand from working when he was 17 years old. He already had calluses. He already told mama, sit down, I got it. But ain't nobody telling mama to sit down. Mama got to go 50-50 and then come home and cook and take care of the children. That ain't fair.
That's doing more than a man.
She has to do more than a man. But then we find all the fault in her. I ain't gonna be able to ride with it. I ain't riding with that. So she was holding the black race together as good as she do. It's just that we got these YNs because mama can't do but so much. But 9 times out of 10 with these YNs, dad ain't nowhere around. I'm talking with the YNs.
Is it the mothers raising the YNs or the absentee fathers that's creating the YNs? And then we gotta go.
Now you got a good question. you got a good question.
No, that's a good one.
I think it's the absent fathers. Because they want to be like their daddies. And they don't know their daddies. So they want to be how they think their daddy probably would be.
All right, Bishop. Okay. So the other day, I called my dad, and he told me, he said, "Son, I seen this a father-son reunion, and the son ended up whooping the dad in the middle of the street because he wasn't there for him, I guess, in his life." That was a YN.
YN all day.
Being raised by his mom. My dad said that the boy had, it was he said he had a man body, but he had a woman inside of him that had him whipping on his dad.
Yeah.
Was the YN wrong for whipping the absentee father?
The YN was definitely wrong.
Why?
You don't fight your daddy. You don't put your hand on your father.
Okay.
Some principles you don't break.
Yeah.
These are life principles. You don't put your hand on your daddy. You don't fight your father. You walk away, you leave.
Even with all that hurt, the men you don't know of, you know, I heard you say that dad left and took some other guys to California, and then that hurt me. But this kid didn't have a dad, period. They saying that this is one of his first time seeing the man since he was been an adult, and he just whooped him in the middle of the street.
Well, he was wrong in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
We can't justify these things. We got to know right from wrong, because then they won't know right from wrong. You're supposed to know automatic. You don't fight your daddy. You don't jump on your daddy. Okay, your daddy wasn't there. Then let that inspire you to be there for your children. That's your positive. That's what you get from that. I got to make sure I be there for my children because my children were never there for me. My daddy told me this. He said the reason I was always a daddy to everybody, he said, because my daddy left me when he was 7 years old, when I was 7 years old. He said, I never seen my daddy since I was 7. He said, my daddy moved to Chicago and left us. He said, all the other kids had a dad in the neighborhood. It hurt me so bad because I never had a dad. That's why I want to be everybody's daddy. That's why y'all had to share me with everybody, because I didn't want nobody to feel what I felt. See, now, he could have said, I want to beat my daddy. But when my granddaddy turned 58, my dad was living in Decatur, and he heard, they called him and said, your daddy finna die. He got in his car and went to Chicago. He saw him one last time since he was 7 years old. And he went there and stood by his side while he was dying. But my daddy told me this. He said, I told myself, if I ever see my daddy, I'm going to jump on him. He said, but I changed my mind. I went there, when I found out he was sick, I drove by myself all the way to Chicago to stay there and spend time with my daddy. He said his dad was 58 years old when he died. Do you see it was the same situation that you just named, but a different concept? They dealt with it different.
Yeah.
So we all gonna run into the same concepts, but is our response gonna be the same? Your success is in your response. It never in what happened to you. What happened to you will never determine whether you'll be successful or not. Your response will always determine whether or not you'll be successful.
And that's major, guys. Thanks, Bishop.
Thank you, Major. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.